but I'm not by myself. Before I bring on our special guest, I got to bring on my co-host from the Come On In Sports Network, Real Fan Sports. My brother, y'all already know who it is. Zach, how you doing, my brother?
Yes, sir, man. Doing good, man. Doing good. Appreciate you having me on, and very excited for today's guest and to talk about everything we're going to talk about. Definitely pumped, man.
And this gentleman that I'm bringing on, man, he's a friend, he's a brother, he's a mentor. When I started this thing, man, this brother, man, he held me down. He put confidence in me, man, to keep pushing forward, man. And it meant a lot, man. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome to the stage the one and only Mr. Kyle T. Mosley. Kyle, how you doing?
What's going on, Dolph? What's going on, Zach? How you guys doing?
How's it going, Kyle?
Is that Who Dat Nation?
Who That Nation, baby? How you doing? They coming on in. All right, who we got in here right now? Nobody here right now. They be here. Okay. All right. With that being said,
they coming off the blues still from Mardi Gras, man. It takes 2 days to get back on their routine. That's all it is.
That's right, man. I mean, you guys had a good time.
Got off the Ash Wednesday, man. Y'all kill me with that Ash Wednesday stuff, boy. You act like heathens on that Tuesday, but Wednesday you're holy. I tell you. But first of all, Kyle, man, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you being here, man. And for those who may not be familiar, man, please let them know who Kyle T. Mosley is.
Oh, man. Who am I? That is a good question. Look, guys, I started Saints News Network back in 2006. Started at the second podcast catering to the Saints in 2010, the Saints News Radio. And we grew that to 5 podcasts that we were having simultaneously with the Professor Speaks from the coach's office, Saints Angels, NFL Huddle, just to name a few, Crescent City Connection, the first Crescent City Connection that was out there. And, you know, then we started partnering with Sports Illustrated back in 2019. We had guys like Ross Jackson, John Hendricks, Bob Rose on the staff, Brendan Boylan as well. So we had quite a run, and your boy Dolph started getting old.
Oh, come on, man.
That's a number, baby. That's a number, baby. That's a number.
No, look, going through cancer surgery, cancer treatments, and trying to hold it down at home and write 3 or 5 stories a day, it became a little much. So I'm semi-retired now from the Saints, still holding down content for Sports Illustrated on the HBCU Legends side. So that's a little bit about who I am today.
Gotcha. And like I said, my brother, we done already spoke, man. You know, bro, I love you, man. I didn't want to hear that news, my brother, but you know what? Like I said,
everything's good now, man. Cancer free.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Man. Yes. We're doing well.
Yes.
But the body needed to kind of recruit. You got to get back up to speed. So I love everything that you guys are doing. I support everything that you guys are doing. Zach, I watched you for a while till you do a good job, man.
I appreciate that, Kyle. Appreciate that, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I'm sure Dolph already had ready some questions, man. But I mean, going through that whole experience of battling cancer and stuff like that, and you know, doing what you do and being a mentor to so many different people, how has that, like, you know, affected what you do, like, positively?
Give me a little bit more context, because I could go several different ways. Go ahead.
Oh, several different ways. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, obviously, like, going through something traumatic where, you know, cancer, life-threatening, all those different things, you know, it tends to put, you know, life into a different perspective once you go through different situations like that. And, you know, being who you are, mentoring and working with a bunch of different people with HBCU and all that, how has it kind of just put life in perspective in that way, and has influenced or changed how you go now?
yeah, I'm a little bit more at ease these days, man. Taking things a little bit more easier, and I have to be more conscious about what's going on because my son is still in college as well. So when he says, "Dad, I need you here," you kind of listen a little bit differently, right? And I think, Zach, what has really happened is being able to see how many people we can still affect their lives in a positive nature. If it's not just giving a career to, we could talk about how we could be able to help enhance their careers. And I think especially when you talk about these young student athletes from HBCUs who've been having the challenges trying to get their names out there, people to recognize that it doesn't always matter if you come from an LSU or Tulane or Mississippi State or one big Division I program, but if you have the talent and you're able to put it out on the field like Teron Armstead did, he came from HBCU. If we look at what Jerry Rice did, coming from Mississippi Valley State, Walter Payton, Doug Williams, then we understand that talent is not just residing in just Division I, but also within FCS as well as HBCUs and other small Division III teams as well. Look at what Puka Nacua was able to do, for the Rams. So we just got to have these NFL scouts and pro evaluators to be able to be fair in how they evaluate the talent and make sure that they give these kids an opportunity, just like what Eddie Robinson told one reporter before Doug Williams was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you give him the opportunity, he'll show what he could be able to do, and it showed out to be true.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now, go ahead, Zach.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. All you do.
Just piggybacking off what Kyle is saying, right now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, there are, if I'm correct, I believe there are 34 HBCU alums.
I think it's 35.
35 right now. But again, like you were saying, it doesn't matter. Like I see on here a lot of times, like a lot of kids are going to go undrafted. For 3 nights, they're not going to hear their name called. But it's almost like they go back into the recruiting process when you think about them signing as an undrafted free agent, because now you get to pick the best destination for yourself that gives you the best opportunity to make an impact, to make that team. And so it doesn't matter how you get to the league. It's all about what you do with the opportunity when it is given to you. We can talk about Kurt Warner. A lot of these young kids, they see Kurt Warner right now on NFL Network and all this. Kurt Warner was bagging groceries.
That's right.
Kurt Warner played in the Arena Football League. For you youngsters out there who don't know what Arena Football is, Google it, look it up. There's an Arena Football.
Right.
And now he went from Arena Football to an afterthought of a quarterback to a Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Fame quarterback. And like I said, HBCUs, you got 35 members right now in the HBC, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And broken down, Grambling has Willie Brown, Buck Buchanan, Willie Davis, and downtown, not Charlie Brown, but Charlie Joyner. Jackson State's got Lim Barney, Robert Brazile, the great Walter Payton, one of the greatest tackles ever to play for the Rams, Jackie Slater.
Yep.
Harry Collison, Deacon Jones, man, we can go on and on, but HBCU has been a big part of the National Football League. And listen, arguably the greatest wide receiver in the history of the game, Jerry Rice.
I don't even know if it's arguably. I think it's just determined at this point,
I have to agree with you, Zach. It's a no-brainer to me when you talk about wide receivers. I love Randy Moss. I love Chris Carter. I love what those guys were able to do in their careers. But when you look at what Jerry was able to do so effectively and so efficiently,
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
up until the age of what, 40 or 41 when he retired, man, you got to applaud him.
Yeah.
So, and Jerry's been a good guest of mine. I've had Jerry three or four times on my show. So he's a good guy to talk to. Very, very cordial. But the thing is, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I just got to say this. If you look at the HBCU Legacy Bowl, look at the HBCU Combine that just was in New Orleans, guys, a few weeks ago.
Right.
That was one of the best run weeks ever for HBCU talent, to be able to have the 32 teams present, CFL teams, European League teams, being there to be able to talk to those kids, get to know those kids. I interviewed two young men, Irv Mulligan as well as Rob McDaniel out of Jackson State. Those guys had 20 plus teams actually interviewing them. Think about that.
Oh.
If this event did not take place, would they have had that opportunity? So you have to love the vision that Doug Williams as well as James Shack Harris was able to get, not from just on their heads and just talk it, but actually put it into motion and have the National Football League to be able to buy into it wholeheartedly as well.
And to be able to do it so quickly as well. I mean, just started in 2022. So this was the third year. I was watching some highlights of the game just a couple minutes ago before we joined on. And, to see that crowd, growing and, like you said, be able to have all the opportunities, be able to have the coaches there and then be able to meet with teams. I mean, you can't take that stuff for granted because those are opportunities of a lifetime. It may not, even if it doesn't fulfill the duty of right then and right there, it's the future as well, because now you build relationships with these guys. So if you don't go in this year, maybe you go play UFL, and then you already have this relationship with this owner, this GM, this head coach. So it's just an amazing opportunity that, the owners that run this program are able to do. It's amazing.
Yeah, look, man, I remember when they first made the kind of announcement it was going to happen, right? And I reached out to the Black College Football Hall of Fame, and I didn't know I was communicating with Doug Williams. So, and I was making a request. Can I interview Doug Williams? He said, sure. Can we also have James Shack Harris on? I'm thinking, hell yeah, let's do that, right?
Right.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. And guess what, guys? Just that simple DM to the Black College Football Hall of Fame grew out of a friendship with Doug Williams and James Shack Harris, and they made the announcement on the very first HBCU Legends, because I called it that because I was like, man, I'm interviewing legends.
Right.
HBCU legends.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I came up with the name, and the rest is history, man. Those guys put that together very, very quickly, but they did it with Patrick Mahomes, who was one of the founding members, Teron Armstead, Jameis Winston. The following year, he was a part of it. So I'm telling you, as well as Bobby Wagner.
Okay.
And they had a couple other NFL guys as well as NFL teams that really supported them to get it up and running. And look what it's doing now.
Yeah, and you guys kind of went into it. That was going to be my question, Kyle. Has the Legacy Bowl had the impact that the founders wanted it to have? And after you speaking about this year, I would say it has, and it's growing fast.
Yeah. See, the first year we had one or two guys that were able to get into the draft, right? Then the following year, no one.
Right.
And that was very, very disappointing. And we only had one young man that was drafted, and he was drafted by the New England Patriots. That was Isaiah Bolden, right? Okay. And then last year we didn't have, but one or two people were drafted in all HBCUs, but we had 27 plus young men that were undrafted free agents signed to teams that day. And then the numbers grew. You had more people on the practice squads and everything else. But one thing that guys don't know, that a lot of HBCU coaches have been giving the opportunity through the Bill Walsh Minority Fellowship Scholarship that they have there, as well as the other training programs. And Kansas City has, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 assistant coaches that were previous HBCU coaches or HBCU players.
Good, great. So where to next? Like you said, it's still growing. This is going next season will be year 4, if I'm not mistaken. Be the 4th.
This is we just completed year 4.
Oh, so it'll be year 5. We're going into year 5 next year. This year, without a doubt, I believe was the greatest turnout for the game. It was on NFL Network. You had Charles Davis was in town covering the game.
Steve White, Bucky Brooks,
Bucky Brooks. Man, you had the big guns there, man. For these young men, explain by you being there and what it meant for these young men just to get the opportunity to be in front of NFL scouts and personnel that make decisions for the teams, being that they were not invited to the NFL scouting combine and a lot of times just got overlooked.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because this year I wasn't able to attend because I had a death in the family. Sure. So, but what it does for these young guys, you talk about 100 all-stars that are from not only the 4 major HBCU conferences, the SWAC, MEAC, CIWA, SIAC, but also some independent conferences as well, that we have a spattering of HBCU schools out there. But they participated very well. Like several young men from Florida Memorial really showed up and showed out in the game. And they had big tackles, big playmaking ability. Where would they have had that opportunity on a national level to be able to showcase their skills, but at the HBCU Legacy Bowl?
Right.
And I think right now, what it has been able to do, you see more media coverage, right, not only from Black media, but you see it from national media. You see also major coverage because of the importance of the game to the people who are not just playing the game, but the people who are going to be affected, the families. Right. How many times that we kind of overlooked that these young men may have already started families, like Rob McDaniel from Jackson State. He has a son. He said the most important thing for him at this time, you put me wherever, I'm going to do it for my son, and I'm going to do it well. And he's projected to be a day 3 draft choice. So, I mean, you have these things that has elevated him from being undrafted to day 3 now, just because he's had those conversations, right, Zach and Dolph. Absolutely. And those are very invaluable situations where we need to have more of those. Go ahead.
So where would you like to see this game grow? What areas in particular would you like to see it grow?
Still, I think we need to have more awareness from HBCU. Okay, let me put it to like this. I think if you look at the city of New Orleans, the competition is Mardi Gras during that time. So it's not very well attended from the people in New Orleans, because that's the main draw at that particular time. If we get more people in the seats, that'll be great. But if we get more teams to recognize that, man, we had a Shedeur Sanders, we had a Travis Hunter. Those guys started their careers at an HBCU, and right now they're about to be number 1 draft choices for some teams in the National Football League. And you have the fastest running back at the NFL Scouting Combine. He started his career at an HBCU, North Carolina A&T.
Right there. There you go.
Carson Vincent, the one lone HBCU guy, had his whole career at HBCU, Alabama A&M, is
Yeah,
projected to
my
be
God.
either a late day 2 or day 3 pick, right?
I'm
In
telling you
Notre
right
Dame.
now. I'm telling you right now.
You know where I'm going with.
I interviewed that kid. I met that kid. I'm telling you right now, whoever gets that kid in their building, they getting a football player.
That's a steal.
I'm telling you, that kid gonna be a steal. That kid gonna be a player.
Look, and you know, the thing that comes from it too, it's like, you know, playing at, you know, schools that people look at as smaller. You know, it's not your big, you know, D1 school and stuff like that. You get to play with a chip on your shoulder, man. And the best thing that he said during the interview he had with Dolph was, I'm no charity case. I came here to play ball. I came here to dominate. I'm not, you know, I'm not begging. I'm not acting like, oh, I'm so blessed to be. It's like, no, I earned my spot here. I know what type of football player I am, and I'm gonna go out there and chill it on the field today against all the best. And that's what he did, man.
Yeah, me fired up, man. Let's do it. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, and look, guys, he's a very intelligent young man.
Very.
Has a huge wingspan, right? And for a left tackle, that's what you need to see. Yeah. Great footwork. But one thing that people don't know, he can be nasty.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen it on the field where he has taken guys and just driven them into the ground, pancaked them, whatever he needed to do. And he kept his quarterback clean. He got
that switch. He can switch it on. He got that switch when he goes on that field. He goes to another person. Because I believe he said something like off the field, you know, I'm God fearing and everything. But when I'm on the field,
it's a different person.
It's a different person. All right, we got Coach Rock is in the chat. He couldn't make it tonight, but he's in the chat. Coach says, my question is, instead of playing Senior Bowl East versus West, why not play D1 players versus HBCU?
Well, you talk about politics now, and that's a lot of politics that go into these East-West Shrine as well as the Senior Bowl, guys. I've talked to guys behind the scenes who were sitting in those rooms, and the guys who make the decisions want to keep it as top-heavy Division I as they can.
Gotcha.
Right? FBS.
Right.
Division I as they can. If you notice, there's fewer and fewer FCS players that are invited to the Senior Bowl and to the East-West Shrine Bowls as years pass. Right. And that's when you found some of your gems, guys from the North Dakota states and South Dakota states and Wyoming's and stuff like that, right? So what we need to change is the mindset of those people choosing the talent, or open up more slots for those young men to be able to come in and participate.
And then the East-West Shrine Bowl is under new management now. So they think is, I spoke to some people at the Senior Bowl. So the thing with the East-West Shrine game, they are now trying to get better players, more top-level players to come to the East-West Shrine game. You know, normally East-West Shrine game was mostly made of your day 3 or undrafted free agent players. But now they're looking to try to up their talent level to get on the same level as the Senior Bowl.
Well, a lot of people don't remember years ago, the East-West Shrine was the better game to showcase yourself than the Senior Bowl. And guys like Robert Brazile and Walter Payton, if they did not have the weeks that they had at that East-West Shrine game, they probably would not have been number 1 draft choices.
Right.
All right. And they had really, really strong weeks, and they showed that they can compete better than the competition that came from bigger name schools.
Right. And man, and going back, you're right. The East-West Shrine game used to be the game when I was coming up. You was coming up on TV. You get out there. You got kid. He may have played at BYU, but he got a Tennessee sticker on his helmet. They got 3 different stickers on. I mean, you used to love that game.
Yeah, you're right.
Now the Senior Bowl has surpassed it. You got to give credit to Jim Nagy for the great job that they do with the Senior Bowl.
And what's going to happen to the Senior Bowl now that he's gone to Oklahoma? He's now the general manager.
Yep.
Yeah, of the Sooners. So that's going to be quite the change there at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, because he definitely puts on a really good show, man. So it's gonna be hard shoes to fill there. So whenever doing starting up with the HBCU Legacy Bowl, what was like some initial like startup things? Like did y'all have a model that y'all wanted to try and follow or emulate, or y'all kind of wanted to do it y'all's own way?
I can only speak for what I know on what Doug had in his mind. He said, I needed to showcase, because I got to take you back, a little history lesson. Back in the mid 70s to early 90s, there were Black college all-star games across the country. I remember one in particular was in the Superdome, because my cousin played in it from Southern University. I think it was 1979 and no, 1980, because he was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. And Bill Walsh said, I drafted him. This is what he told to my cousin Kenny, the Body Snatcher Times, who was the MVP of the Bayou Classic in 1979, when first time Southern defeated Grambling. He said, because what you did at that All-Star game is the reason why I drafted you.
Wow.
All right.
All right. So without that, he doesn't get drafted.
Without that game, he would have never met a young coach named Bill Walsh.
Unknown opportunity. And that's what the Legacy Bowl is providing. It's providing opportunity. Now, Kyle, we just also announced today was the inaugural game, Las Vegas, October 25th, Grambling State taking on Jackson State, HBCU Classic, man. How did this come about, man?
Good question. I don't know much about it. And I do know that the people who were responsible for putting it on, like the president of the Las Vegas Raiders, she's an African-American woman, right? Mm-hmm. She was instrumental for spearheading this with the tourism board of Las Vegas to be able to bring the HBCU element to Las Vegas, because she felt it was being overlooked. And what better venue to have it at Allegiant Stadium, which is a beautiful stadium, right? Beautiful. And you also have the entertainment factor of bringing people to Las Vegas for that weekend. And you have the two storied programs, two of the more successful storied programs in HBCU history, with Grambling State and Jackson State. Mickey Joseph being from New Orleans, being the head coach over there at Grambling, and the national champions of HBCU with Jackson State and TC Taylor.
Yes. Not the champions of bands, but champions on the football field.
On the football field.
that want to make that known.
Yes.
Coach Rock and Jerry and they proud. They all in the chat right now. Talk about the G and Jackson State. It ain't the S, it ain't the U. Don't forget. Sometimes I just got to remind them, man. They get out of hand sometimes. Got to wind them back in.
It's kind of like I have to remind you about that Forche stuff that you used out there, man.
Once again, Kyle, that was no contest, brother. Everybody in the city knew who the best was.
It was never Forche.
It was number 35. Listen, for y'all who don't know, my brother Kyle was a drum bass. Look, he still got the
stick. He ready.
He still got it was never Forche, baby.
Listen, see what you're hearing is a man who is bitter, because every time they came up against the foe, they got
not bitter, just confident. I already knew.
Well, listen. I know the truth. The truth will set you free, baby. You gotta let it go, baby.
It was never in my year. I'm gonna tell you that. I think you're behind me, so it was never in my year. It was never from 1980 to 84. It was never in my year.
In my years, we used to say, who that is? Who? Oh, man, nah, man. We had more respect for St. Mary's.
Oh my goodness! All right.
I ain't gonna do y'all like I ain't gonna do y'all like that.
You're insulting the guest, though. I mean, you gotta come in. He about to get hot and heated in the building.
Hey,
I think I got him ruffled there, Zach.
I think you did. I think you did. I haven't seen Doug this worked up since Coach Ross.
You see how worked up he is, right?
Yeah. Look, he about to get off this, go back into the bed, talk to his wife, be like, man, that damn Kyle last night.
I can't believe that damn Kyle. I invited him on my show, and he gonna go and talk about how we used to get stumped by 35. I mean, how we used to stump 35.
Oh, man,
that's all right, dog. Man, just
okay.
come. You can call me
Hey,
later,
man.
bro. You got my number. You got my number.
I got you. I'll call you later, bro. You know. Like they say, man, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I'll let you. This is the second time. I'll let you be right today.
All right.
Now let's talk about Kyle so far. What do you think, first of all, about the Saints hiring of Kellen Moore? Do you like the hiring, or do you think some people want to say that the Saints settled, but many think that Kellen Moore was at the top of their list?
No, I think Aaron Glenn would have been one of the top guys, right? I think Kellen Moore fell into the right space because the Saints wanted to take their time before making this decision. And you're looking at a world championship team that he just guided to win that ring. It made sense. Kellen Moore, is he ready for this spot? Well, we'll see.
Right.
If he's ready. He's bringing
great staff.
He assembled a really good staff. And one sign of a good coach, a lot of people kind of overlook, is the fact they can recruit top level coaches to be able to come and work with them as well. You know, if they have the like-mindedness and if they can carry out the vision together, I think they can possibly go forward. So I like what I've seen from how he has assembled his staff. I don't have anything negative to say about Kellen Moore. I think he got the shaft when he was in Dallas, though. I think Mike McCarthy didn't give him a fair shot. But all in all, I think right now we just have to wait to see how it translates out onto the playing field.
And a lot of people were saying by the Saints taking their time, they're being the last team to hire, that it was going to be hard for him to put together a quality staff. And to me, a lot of times, a lot of people go with what's popular, the popular names out there, the popular coaches. There are a lot of great coaches in this country, around the league. And if you look at right now, you got just a few. You got Doug Nussmeier, Joe Thomas. They just brought in former head coach, Scott Linehan, I believe.
Yeah, Linehan, Haley, and all those guys.
All those guys. And then they also started a war in the state of Louisiana, because right now everybody in Baton Rouge is mad as hell because the Saints went down I-10 and snatched Bo Davis and brought them on up this way. And them Tigers, man, they are upset.
That could be one of the best hires right there. Yeah. Someone to help out that line.
Right. And I see that today LSU, they reached back and they hired a former great, Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
To be their defensive line coach. Go ahead, Zach. We got Coach Rock joining us.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What up, Coach?
Hey, good.
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to come in and say hi to our guest. I didn't want to be rude tonight, but I heard what he just said.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, he about to bring out. There you go.
Did he mute himself or did you mute him?
Give me 1 second, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
I got to do this, dog. I really got to do this tonight.
Man, go ahead, bro. Let him say it,
I got to do this tonight, bro.
Go into it, baby.
I got to do this tonight, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I got to do this tonight, bro. I got to do this tonight, bro.
Show it to him, baby. Show it to him, baby.
I gotta do this tonight, bro. I just had to do this.
True,
bro. Don't ever do that, bro. 35, man. Don't you ever do that.
What year did you graduate?
Oh, man, don't you ever do that.
What year did you graduate?
90.
All right. See, you were behind me as well. again, from 80 to 84, there was no competition, baby.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
The Forche was never in the competition as far as the playoffs. They were never in the playoffs.
I don't want to be rude to the guests, though, bro, but I just had to prove that tonight, bro.
They were not in the playoffs then.
Man, we talking about legends. We talking about Wade Elmo.
I'm talking about from my years from 1980 to 1984 when I graduated with Neil Smith.
All right.
They were not in
Eddie Ford.
Yeah. They were in our district and they were not in the playoffs.
Aeneas Williams, since we're throwing our Hall of Famers, Aeneas Williams, let's go.
He came after as well.
That's right. He played with Eddie Ford, Byron Atkinson,
Eddie Ford was around my year.
Jupiter, Troy, Jupiter.
Yeah.
I don't remember them old heads back then, but Wade Elmo and them did their thing, baby. Tulane great. Wade Elmo, he just retired out of Georgia. Fire chief, he just retired.
Awesome. He was an awesome player, man.
Yeah, but
from 80 to 84, we're not talking about this.
I don't know.
Go back to see the records.
You said in 4 years all that matter, huh?
Just go see the records. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Forche was never great.
I didn't even want to come on tonight, but when I heard you say 35, 35 on Kellerick Street? Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
All right.
But I didn't want to be rude to our guests. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm sorry, dog. But I had to bring that truth out, baby.
Love, baby. It's all love. It's all love.
Hey, call family, man. That's family.
It's all love, man. Look,
family.
Forche, I can tell you one thing. Forche had a great band. They did have a great band. And the football team, if I look through the records, I believe we lost to them 1 year. I think it was probably my sophomore or junior year. But other than that, when we had Coach Kennedy and those guys, 35 was a pretty dominant program at that time in our district. It wasn't.
But too, somebody else ran Esplanade. I ain't gonna call no name, not Kyle.
Who's
Esplanade. That Trojan attack was right down the street.
They were right down the street. John Mack got us a few times. They got
John Mack. That attack.
They were nice.
But the boys
do it.
But those boys are right around. Is it AP2 row now? Is that
they
call it AP? No, we're talking about St.
All.
We played them three. We played them 3 times. We got them 2 out of 3. My years.
Kyle, what position you played?
What position?
Yeah.
No, I was drum major, man.
What instrument you played?
Sax.
Saxophone. He's a saxophone. From
I
saxophone
trumpet.
to drum major.
I played trumpet. No.
Went from saxophone
man.
to drum major.
I was with
hold the band. Hold the band, them trumpets, baby. You know the trumpet section, baby. Hold the band, baby. Hold the band, baby.
Those tubas guys, they'll say differently.
Well, shout out to my boys, man.
Zach saying, I don't know what y'all talked about.
Hey, look, I'm not a musically inclined person, man. I'll be straight up. I'm just here for the
Zach saying, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
I don't know nothing about no music, man.
Let's get back to football. All right, so you like to tell. Well, the jury's out.
I think it's any hire is really you got to wait to see.
Yeah, as long as it ain't Dennis Allen.
And what I was gonna say too, you were mentioning, everybody looks for the pretty name and all that stuff, and the matter of it is, it's all situation, right? It's the coaching staff that you build around them too. Like that has a big deal to go along with this. I mean, some people just don't work well in certain situations. I mean, Cliffsbury is a great example of that with his struggles in the Cardinals and going over and being office coordinator for the Commanders, and look how well that's turned out. So all those different things. The names are cool, but what really matters the most is how they gel and how they bring their team together.
Right. Zach, also, I have to throw this question out: can you win with the quarterback that you have?
Oh no,
and that's the one thing that. From high school, I see it here in Texas in high school. I see it in even HBCU or any type of college program. You have to have a steady quarterback. You have to have somebody you could be able to depend on and see that person growing and evolving. Will Kellen Moore be able to get that out of Derek Carr? Mm-hmm. What's going to be the future of that quarterback position as well? Should they go ahead and, if somebody slides to them, draft them like a Shedeur Sanders or whatever? And, you know, Shedor's father, Deion, said it best. The reason why they're talking negatively about you because they want to see you slide. You know, but I watched that kid too long, ever since he was in high school, to know he's been a winner then, he's been a winner in college, and his kid's going to be a winner in the pros as well. And he's one of the more accurate, as well as you can see he has evolved his game year in and year out. And we keep on forgetting he threw to a Heisman Trophy winner in Travis Hunter.
Special.
Yeah. I mean, you know, as far as our quarterback situation, I mean, right now with Derek Carr, obviously, I don't see it. I mean, I'd love to see him bring out more out of it. I mean, we you know, who doesn't want to see a winning season and such? You know, if somehow we can slide down and grab Shedeur Sanders, I mean, that'd be absolutely, you know, amazing. I know Dolph is ready to see Carr gone. He's ready to.
I'm like this. But let's say we put up a blank. We put 3 pitches up, blank pitches up right now. We put stacks up, and we put up 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 68% completion percentage. Mm-hmm. Would that be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Derek Carr?
40 touchdowns over what period of years?
Over how long he been the same? 2-year period.
Yeah. Does he have that many touchdowns?
Yeah, he got 40 touchdowns.
Does he?
13,
with the Saints?
Okay. And a 68% completion percentage. But when you watch the game from afar, if I wasn't a Saint fan and watched every single game, I would look at those numbers and say, hey, I'll take that.
He ain't that bad. Yeah, he ain't bad. Like, well, why are they complaining?
Yeah. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback.
No, I don't think so.
He's just not a quarterback that can elevate a team, put a team on his back, and elevate those around him, in my opinion.
Let me play devil's advocate. Okay. Or did Derek Carr have the right offensive coordinator? Did he have the right quarterback coach? Did he have the right head coach?
No, absolutely. Well, in his opinion, did he love him?
Oh, he loved him because he paid him.
They did have a good love affair going on, but does that mean it was right for him? Can Kellen Moore be the guy that be able to extract what he needs from Derek Carr to be able to make him a winner or help him become a winner?
So I think there's certain things with Carr, like with his stint with the Raiders and such, that he looked really good in a lot of moments, man. There was a good run of three or 4 years where he was really striping them. I think he had 8 straight seasons or 7 straight seasons of 4,000 plus throwing yards. You know, so he has qualities and stuff, but it just feels like some players just don't have it to get him over that hump. And, you know, the fact that he's 35 years old and, you know, it's kind of twirling down. It's like, is he going to be able to learn new tricks? Is he going to be able to put in better situation? And, you know, even if he is, does it matter right now with the Saints, who, you know, really are in a rebuild moment where, you know, we have two wide receivers on the team, and I don't think neither one of them are number ones. Like, I think Olave can be, but he hasn't always proven it. And with the concussion issues, that's a whole nother story. You know, I just feel like it ain't the best situation for him. It ain't the best situation for us, because we got to look towards the future and developing something young. But the question is whether or not we can do that, because we have not been successful at developing a young quarterback in the history of the Saints, I don't believe, as far as my knowledge goes.
How many playoff wins does Derek Carr have?
0. What, right? 0?
I mean, the visits to the playoffs does he have? And he wasn't in that game. People don't remember that. He wasn't in that.
Yeah, that was
he was injured, right?
Yeah, he broke. Well, no, he played. I'm sorry. He did play one playoff game against the.
I thought he was injured that game.
I don't. Maybe.
So all I'm saying is this: he's 35 years old, and I think Atlanta is coming to understand what they have in Kirk Cousins as well. You see what's happening with Aaron Rodgers. He's now having to find a new home at 34, right? 30.
Yeah, looks like he's going to New York.
Yeah, 40, however he is. But the thing is, right now, guys,
no, you played that.
Even you look at what Jameis is how old? 30 now? He just made 30? Jameis Winston?
Oh, it's 29. Is Jameis 30? I thought he was 29.
29, 30. So, I mean,
yeah,
if you
around
look at
there,
some of the quarterbacks that are going to be out in free
31.
agency, 31, out in free agency right now, can you win with these guys? Because the object of the game is going through all of the training camps, the preparations, the OTAs, and everything to that nature. It doesn't matter if you don't win or even vie for the championship, right? And can Derek Carr move the Saints to that get over that hump after 4 years not being in the postseason? Can they get that from him? That's going to be up to Kellen Moore to be able to make that determination.
Yeah. I mean, personally, looking at the watch list of players here, the only person that I want to see out of this list would be Justin Fields or Derek Carr. Personally, I really don't like. I'm not big on Darnold. Russell does make no sense. I wouldn't mind having Jameis back. I love Jameis, but as far as getting us over the hump, I don't know. I don't know if I see that.
Darnold could be a good option. Can he work well with the system that Kellen Moore chooses to play in? I think Justin Fields might work a little bit better. I think Russ has probably plateaued out. I love Russell Wilson, so it's not a knock on him.
Yeah, same.
So I just think right now, if I had to look at those two quarterbacks, Darnold or Justin Fields would be probably 1 and 2 in my opinion.
17 and 33. Justin Fields, 17-33, starting quarterback now in football.
Yeah, he had terrible coach.
It's with the Bears, man. I mean,
terrible coach.
There was a lot of negative things that I said about Justin Fields whenever he was with the Bears and when he left and went to Pittsburgh. And I thought going to Pittsburgh was the best thing possible for him. And then it just felt so crappy that they took the legs from underneath him right once Russ got healthy and he lost one game.
That's what I'm about to say. What did that tell you? He was 4-2, right?
Right.
Russell Wilson gets healthy, and what do? They go to Russell Wilson. And success now until the end of the season now. People act like Russell Wilson just had a terrible season.
No, it was that defense had too many injuries.
Yeah, too many injuries for the Steelers. But they made the right decision in going to Russell Wilson and not Justin Fields. To me, Justin Fields has not – I agree with you with the Bears. I think personally last year when we were talking, I thought the Bears should keep Justin Fields. I was like, man, keep Justin Fields because he seemed to be turning the corner. And then, but no, they went the direction they had with Caleb Williams. But Justin Fields, to me, if he gets in the right system, but he's not. Justin Fields he's erratic as a thrower. He's not really that accurate with the ball. So he's inconsistent. Now he does have legs. He has a problem with turnovers. You got to hold on to the ball.
I remember a guy who just won a Super Bowl ring. People were saying that about him. Not accurate. Doesn't have a great arm.
Jalen Hurts.
He can run the ball well, but they will never win a Super Bowl championship with him. I heard some national guys say that openly, and he proved them all wrong.
Let me just say this.
I mean, and the thing is, too, he's so young. I mean, let's look back at one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL history, Peyton Manning. Look at the beginning years. He was horrible. It was bad, man.
Horrible, yeah.
Now he's considered to be top 3,
But when you look at Jalen Hurts 2 years ago should have been named Super Bowl MVP. Because he outperformed Patrick Mahomes then. He was the best player on the field. And again, head to head, he outperforms Patrick Mahomes. Now, does that escalate Jalen Hurts into the top tier quarterbacks in the National Football League? I'm gonna start with you, Kyle, and I'm gonna go with you, Zach.
That's a good question. I think if you win the national or any type of championship and you put your team at the pinnacle, you have to be top tier. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. I think because they used to use that argument against Eli Manning. I'm thinking the guy did win 2 world championships, guys. You know, how do you dismiss that? He won when he was supposed to win. Right. A lot of times we look at regular season and all the stats and all the glory. What better glory is to say that I am hoisting the Lombardi trophy?
Twice. I beat Brady twice.
Brady, exactly. He went head to head with what we consider the GOAT of all of the professional quarterbacks. And he did it. So and did not back down from Brady, did he?
No, he didn't. I like that commercial he made too when he was at the All-Star rapping and he talking about Brady the GOAT. And I got beat him twice or something. He said he like kind of funny, man.
Yeah, in a corny type of way.
Yeah. Well, all the Mannings really.
All of them are, yeah.
So, Kyle, let me ask you this: sitting here today, we know the Saints have started reconstructing contracts. McCarty let Jamal Williams go, which we knew was coming. Earlier this week, there was reports that the Saints possibly could be thinking about parting ways with Tyrann Mathieu, which I think would be a mistake. Right now, what's the big? We know that there's a lot of needs on this team, but right now, what's the biggest need for this team?
I think we talked about it, quarterback. Then if you have to go wide receiver, but if you look at how most championship teams are built, is the offense and defensive lines.
That's it. That's where this team is.
Especially that defensive line. They got to get pass rush.
So many people are so upset whenever you see in draft boards and stuff. And they're like, yep, I don't care about your prediction for the draft because you got an O-line or a D-line early. And I'm like, guys, it's like, man, I know y'all want the big, pretty, shiny lights commercial guy and all this crap, but it's like football ain't won by who's pretty. I mean, look, Odell Beckham looked damn good in the Giants uniform. What did that accomplish? Not shit. Excuse my language.
Football has always and will always be determined on the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage, man. If you don't have those guys.
Why did the Eagles win? They dominated the line of scrimmage. They did not blitz one time. They sent 4 all night, and the 4 ate up the 5 or 6 that were trying to block them the entire night.
So and look what's happening now with the Kansas City Chiefs. They got rid of one of their premier guy, Tooney.
Yeah.
They believe they got to retool and build it up again, right? They're trying to probably get is it Stanley out there?
From the Ravens.
So you've got to have an offensive line and defensive line. The Saints' problem defensively has been they haven't been able to muster a pass rush. I was very surprised this past season. Granderson didn't play up to the level that I thought he was going to play.
And said he got the money.
Right. When you have a 34-year-old Cam Jordan playing still at the elite level of your team on that line, that's a problem. Now you see flashes from Brian Bresee.
7.5, Kyle.
Right. And
in a rotation.
Colin Saunders, he affects the game sometimes, but they've got to get a big defensive tackle paired with that young guy from Clemson to be able to get and collapse that pocket as well. And you've got to get somebody with some more speed as well as strength to be able to take over on the edge.
On the edge.
Chase Young, I like him, but I didn't see where he was effective. But he was coming off an injury. I understand that.
The thing with that though, it's like it's just been so long. You know what I mean? Like it's so long that we say it so much. Like he is still young. He is still, but it's like all the players like, he just came off injury. He'll be better next year when he's fully healthy. Oh, it's every time, every year, and I think that's the frustrating thing.
Brian Bresee matched Chase Young's career best this season in sacks. Chase Young's never had more than 7.5 sacks ever in the National Football League.
Was that from his rookie season?
When he won Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
And he got injured the following season, right? So he's really hasn't been himself for a few years, man. And I'm not making an excuse for him, but he could be a 1-year guy, come back to see if he fits within the defensive scheme. He can give them some depth. You can never not have enough depth of good talent.
Right.
So he understands defenses, how to read defenses and things of that nature. He just wasn't able to get to the quarterback. He was always like a step behind.
He got pressure.
Yeah, sometimes he missed the tack. But he also missed the sacks as well.
Somebody got $106 million for just getting pressure in Vegas. Max Crosby got $106 million.
He had a bad year last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying like we were saying about the flashy thing, sacks. If he gets a player can get 10 sacks in the season and have 18 tackles, and everybody say he had a great season. When he got 18 tackles in the midst and got 50 missed tackles on the season, but he had a great season because he had 10 sacks. So sometimes people don't understand.
Gotta watch football, not watch the papers.
That's what I learned how to do, how to watch football. Because a lot of times the person applying the pressure forces the quarterback in to the arms of let's say Chase Young. He forces the quarterback into the arms of a Brian Bresee or Cam Jordan because of the pressure of his initial pressure. But people don't see that. All they say is, hey, he didn't get a sack this game. He only has one tackle.
But he influenced the sack. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. For sure. Right.
So, Kyle, before we get on out of here, man, again, we appreciate you being here. I know
it's been fun, guys. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you, my brother, for being here, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. But the greatest news that we got tonight was at the beginning. For all those who don't know, my brother was dealing with cancer, and he just gave us the greatest news tonight, man, that he is cancer free. And man, that I'm a little emotional. I'm trying to hold it in, man. But
you and me both when I got that.
Yeah. Only imagine, man.
Hey, man, this
thank God, man.
I'm gonna say this, man. Sometimes God puts people in your life. Again, when I started this journey, there were a lot of people, man. I think, man, but I think this man, he's one of those at the top of the list. When I was trying to figure out things, trying to understand, coming up with the come on this sports
titles and everything.
Yeah. This man was on the phone with me from 8 o'clock at night. We stayed on the phone for 2.5 hours. And the thing that I walked away with, and I even told my wife, I told him, this is a professional journalist who took the time out of his personal life to try to help me better myself. And you just don't meet people like that every day, man. And my brother, I'm telling you, man, I love you. I appreciate you, man. I thank God, man, that for the news we got tonight, man. And hey, you always got a brother here, man. And I'm gonna be bothering you more now. I'm gonna be bothering you more now. So you're gonna be looking at your phone, man. Nah, man. Thank you.
You might tell you guys this. One of the reasons why I started Saints News Network, right, was because I saw Ro Brown and John DeShay, right?
Yeah.
They only, at that time in New Orleans, they only were the guys looking like me.
Gotcha. Yes.
Right. And what I had appreciated about John DeShazier, see, guys, this is when the internet was in its infancies, guys. So they had the NOLA.com forums when we can ask questions and post comments and stuff there. It was no Twitter, none of all this here.
I used to be in the forums. I know what you're talking about for the Hornets. I used to be in there all the time. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And John DeShazier would take the time to even comment and answer your questions.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was like, wow. That meant a lot to me. So when the New Orleans Saints were about to draft, and when the Houston Texans did them a blessing going with Mario Williams instead of Reggie Bush.
Yes.
When I got that word, the next day I took out 2 domain names, saintsnews.net and deuceandreggie.com. And I started those, and there was a new forum out there called blogging. Nobody knew what blogging was. We just started just writing stuff, right? And I started writing, and that's how I got started, man. And I didn't do it with anybody's blessing, anybody's anything else. Then the next thing I know, I got a call from a representative of Danny Clark. He was the linebacker for the New Orleans Saints in 2010. And she said, "Hey, would you like to interview Danny Clark?" I said, "Sure."
Sounds great.
Because she read Deuce and Reggie as well as SaintsNewsNet.net. I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "There's this new thing called podcasting. Would he be interested in coming on the podcast?" Right? Guys, it was horrible. It was terrible, man. Because me and my co-host Curtis, I had to take a microphone and piece it to this thing called an adapter that transferred and made it digital instead of analog, and it snapped, crackled, and popped the whole way through, Zach. It was horrible, bro. And after 2-3 shows, Danny didn't show up again. So I'm saying all this, man, to just give you guys an understanding. You go through your trials, you go through your tribulations, you go through your right stuff and your errors. You just gotta keep going. And if it wasn't for guys like Mike Detillier, Coach Rick Gailey, and some of my friends who out there, who were able to line us up with our first major interview with Malcolm Jenkins and Tracy Porter and Junior Gillette and guys like that. Emery Hunt was one of my first guests. He's, from Football Game Plan. Now you look at his career, he's a CBS sports analyst from college as well as pro. We all kind of grew up together, man. But we did it out of nothing, but we had a belief that we could be able to deliver great content. And I hope that's my legacy, that I help guys be able to start their careers, like help Bob Rose start his career, launch his podcast career. I came up with the Bayou Blitz name. Hey, man, I'll call it Bayou Blitz. Let's put you out there. John Hendricks came on with us from Canal Street Chronicles. We built out Saints News Network on Sports Illustrated. All of these guys, Brendan Boylan, great young talent. Brendan was a high school kid. High school. Now look what he and Bob were doing with Bayou Blitz. So we had Dr. Carla Antoine. She was the first Black female sports writer for us in New Orleans. Wow. You hear me? She started with us as well. So all of these careers, as well as my career, God has blessed us with. And if I could do anything to help people out, like people have helped me out, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm not flashy. I don't have the big name. Just Kyle T. Mosley, damn it.
Kyle T, baby. Kyle T. Kyle T, baby.
Just don't get him started about the bands, and he's all cool with you.
Yeah. Look,
long as he don't put out that damn drum beat.
Yes,
but Dolph, you guys are kind of delusional. I gotta kind of set you straight every now and then.
Every now and then. All right, I'll let you have it. You are the guest tonight, so I'm gonna let you have it.
All right.
It says you the guest, But anyway, again, my brother, thank you so much for being here, man.
Appreciate it, man. For real.
We appreciate it, and we gonna be reaching out to you during the season. Listen, course, come on in Sports Network, which you helped name. Because look, he gave me this one thing. He said, Dolph, you got to think, Dolph. It's a brand. You're gonna be a brand. You got
to come up with a
name. What your brand's gonna be, Dolph?
Yeah.
Come on, Dolph. And I thought, man, listen, I was all at work in the truck thinking. I think of something. I text Kyle, and he's like, okay, let me see. Nah, Dolph. Nah, that ain't gonna work.
Zach, some of the things he came up with, we can't talk about now.
I can only imagine.
I thought Dolph was on some powerful stuff at that time when he was coming up with these names.
It was just the fuse for the truck. That's all it was. Fuse for the truck.
Yeah, I came up with some doozies, boy. I ain't gonna lie. There was some doozies I came up with. I tell you, but then I just thought about it. It was simple. Sometimes, like Nine say, man, just keep it simple, man. Everybody, come on in.
Yeah, but Zach. You keep doing what you're doing. Dolph, you keep doing what you're doing. You guys reach back and help somebody. That's the most important thing. You just don't do it for yourself. Collaborate, network, meet as many people as possible because you never know. One day you may work with that person. So help those guys out. And hey, man, everybody who's out there, if there's anything I could do, hit me up. Let me know what I could do to try to help out. I'm willing to listen at this time. I got a lot more free time on my hands these days, so just hit me up, okay?
All right.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
He's the great Kyle T. Mosley. That's Zach. I'm your boy, Dolph. This has been the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. And like always, family, love and who that, man.
The Comma in Sports Network.